So hi, Liz, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, great. Listen, I'm so excited. I understand you're going to be speaking at our NAWBO meeting on August the 6th.
Yes, I am. Very excited to play with you guys.
Well, great, great. Let me ask you, how did you come to know NAWBO?
Yeah, so it's actually a funny story. I was with another networking, I feel like I was cheating on another networking group, but I was with another networking group and somebody said, you know what, Liz, you've kind of outgrown this tribe. It's time to level up a bit and you should probably put NAWBO on your radar. And I was in Connecticut at the time and there wasn't a Connecticut chapter. The closest one was New York City. So I just got on their mailing list and, next time I could get to the city, I would, kind of a thing. Then an email comes out about the national conference. I think that year it was in Minneapolis. So this was a couple of years ago. So I replied to the email and I said, hey, is anybody on the other end? I'm thinking about going to the conference. Is anyone doing room share? Just very like the extroverted extrovert that I am, like, let me just find a friend somewhere out there. And the president of the NAWBO chapter replied and she was like, yeah, let's jump on a conversation. Within 5 minutes, we were best friends and we ended up sharing a room together. The first time we met was when I flew out to the conference and I think it was Minneapolis that year. And then that night we went out to the president's dinner and I got to hang out with all the presidents of the different chapters. And I got to hang out with Jen Earl and Molly Gimmel and all these other, NAWBO powerhouse women. So for me, it was just such an experience to come into NAWBO, meeting all the heavy hitter players right out of the gate. And it just, to understand their different views, the challenges that they have within their respective areas, not chapters per se, but just taking the social issues and moving women's issues forward and hearing the nuanced kind of pockets that are out there in the world. I was like, this is where I want to be. So I actually was going to start the Connecticut chapter and a few things kind of happened. Fast forward, COVID, and I'm in Florida now. So that's a long story short.
Well, you really got introduced to it in a massive, massive way then with a huge impact on your life, right?
Yeah, huge.
That's interesting. Yeah, I love that. And love that you're in Florida now, even though it's COVID that brought you here. So there are good things that's come from COVID, right?
Absolutely.
And I think that's the thing. We all have to understand that there are good and bad and everything, and we have to look for the positives. And that's one of the things I love about NAWBO is that we are women supporting each other and business owners personally, whatever. We're making great relationships here and we're always positive. We're always uplifting and we're uplifting each other to the next level. One of my mantras is soar to your next level, right? That's my business is Soar Financial. So that's what I do. Soar to the next level, help women soar to where they want to go, right?
Yep.
And so I'm really super excited to have you coming in because your business is selling with service. And that is awesome. I think that you're going to bring some great nuggets to us to show us how to pivot in this time of COVID. And I hope we can get away from actually saying this time of COVID or post-COVID or just taking COVID out of the whole conversation altogether, right? That's what I'm looking forward to. So tell us what is the topic you're actually going to be talking on?
So we're going to be talking about selling in the time of COVID.
Okay.
I know, right? But in these unprecedented times, I actually caught myself saying that the other day, and I was like, "No, stop it! Don't say those things." There's all these buzzwords that we're just so over. But selling in the time of COVID, what worked 4 months ago? Some things still are working. And the playing field is also completely different. One of the early training.
Some of that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on your toes.
No, it's fine.
But some of that is going to stay different, right? Just this whole virtual world we're in, even though we've had to adapt to the virtual world's never going to go away. It's there forever now. Hopefully there's other things that are part of COVID that aren't going to be there forever, like wearing masks and all of that good stuff. But the virtual world's never going to go away. So I think that's something that we all have to look at. And hopefully those are some of the things that You're so awesome at being camera ready and looking so gorgeous today and everything. But those are some of the tips you're going to bring us as well.
Yeah, it's really to look at, what was the world before and kind of to just identify it so we have a kind of baseline for what we were starting, what were some of the norms that we were used to, and then where are we now and how have things shifted and changed in sometimes a challenging way. If you were really used to in person and that was how you closed your clients and navigated relationships, this medium is weird. Right. So then that could be one of the challenging things. And then also to look at all the beautiful unspoken things that this time has really bubbled up to the surface and how selling now, and this is my totally biased opinion, but it's way more easier and fun now more than ever.
Well,
and I want to talk about
you don't
why
have
that
to
is.
battle traffic, right?
Well, there's that too, for sure, right? Definitely that for sure.
Saving money, we're not eating out all the time. We're not spending money on gas and all of those things.
Yep.
So.
I mean, I was talking to Australia yesterday and then 3 hours, or last week, and then 3 hours before I was in North Carolina. Like these things could not happen,
right.
It was not acceptable. So, so there's those logistical things, but then also on a social and emotional human component, because a sales conversation is simply two humans coming together to decide how they want to play well together. So from the human side of the coin, again, selling with service, how have things changed right now? How have humans changed? And where is there opportunity to really strengthen relationships and expand so that you're building a book of business that's going to see you through rather than just, sustain this little short window of time. So bigger picture thinking, kind of the human component of dealing with humans. That's all that it ever comes down to. And then really looking at it as how things have changed so that you can walk away from this conversation like, oh, I didn't know that was socially acceptable to do. It resonates. I'm going to get back to my desk now and do that. Like that's what I want you to be able to walk away doing. Like, oh, that felt really good and intuitive, but I didn't know it was like, okay, cool, I'm on it. Like that's the takeaway from the conversation.
Well, I'm super, super excited to have you coming. I think you're going to bring some awesome things to all of us. And we're going to try to fill the virtual space for you so that you have a large audience. So one of the reasons we're doing this video today, so that we can get it out there and get everybody there and just get everybody to understand that we have got somebody as awesome as you in our state now, and that our chapter actually in Lakeland has reached out beyond Lakeland, because you're actually in Daytona, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's a great opportunity as well to be able to just show how this virtual world is working. So I'm super excited again to have you on August the 6th.
Yes.
And it is 11:30. And so I will let you go today, but thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to having you and learning all those great nuggets.
I want to close on one tip that's
okay.
tactical, practical, and actual that people can get into motion right now. Because I mean, I'm all about just like getting things done. So one thing I want to say is that, as business owners, or if you're in a sales professional role, or you need to use your mouth to make money, we're always thinking, approaching like, well, how do I get to that next prospect? Using NAWBO, using these virtual events is a great way to build relationships with people who might be out of your reach. And I'll walk you through what that looks like. That looks like you reaching out to, you've got Sally on your prospect list. She's a CEO of a company and you're like, man, I would love to get in there. I would love Sally as a client. Well, you reach out to Sally, email, LinkedIn, however that works for you. And you invite her to a NAWBO meeting so that she can network and play with a higher caliber of people. And it elevates you exponentially because you are playing with a higher caliber group of people. You've done a total give, right? You haven't said a thing about your business or anything. You're like, I know cool people. You want to know these cool people too. If she can make it, that's great. If she can't, you've bridged a connection, and now the door is open for the next level conversation, but you look like the champion and the hero. If you do that with 5 people on your prospect list, you're going to have big conversations the following week that are going to move your business forward. Guaranteed.
Oh, I love that. Thanks. Free tip today, right?
Big one. It's a big one for sure.
Yes, it really was. I appreciate that myself.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone else will as well. Well, great.
Yeah.
Thanks. And we
Awesome.
look forward to seeing you on August the 6th, 11:30. Bye.